What's up? My name is Max Sinclair. I'm here yet again to drop some more marketing bombs on you, the people. And today I'm going to be talking about the funnel. In particular, not the kind of campaign side or strategy, but how to understand the metrics that go through your actual ads themselves to be able to understand where the kind of pitfalls might be within your funnel. So ultimately, we're going to go through the actual metrics themselves, and what they mean actually for you when you're trying to understand that. It's really important for anyone who's doing any form of marketing to figure this stuff out, because it's really the kind of main way that you kind of develop your campaigns over time, and when you're testing, to actually understand which ones are working or not and why they are or are not working. So my name is Max Sinclair. I'm founder of Snowball Creations. As I say,
unbelievable. She couldn't have picked a better man.
We run a paid ads agency that helps people with this stuff. We focus on positive impact businesses that make the world better.
I'm just trying to make the world better. What's your problem?
So we do this literally every day of our lives. So we have some experience with it. So let's get into it. So the very top of this funnel is within your Facebook ads is the CPM. This is a really good metric, or the impressions and the reach frequency as well. These are the kind of starting points for your funnel to be considering. So firstly, are you getting any impressions? If that number is tiny for some weird reason, like maybe you've set up some weird audiences that aren't big enough for some reason, if that number is just tiny, then that's a problem. So that's the very first thing you might think about. And then you want to look at CPM. So CPM is cost per thousand. So that's what is the cost that we have to pay Facebook or LinkedIn to have 1,000 people see us. It's also in Google Ads as well and other places, but Facebook and LinkedIn, especially in this situation with this funnel. That this is really important, because let's say, for example, you're selling a £10 item and your cost per thousand is 20 or 30 pounds. That means 1,000 people to see your advert is going to cost you 30 to 40 pounds. So to try and get enough of those 1,000 people to convert to then make more than enough sales for your £20 item becomes quite difficult. Whereas, let's say, for example, if you're in B2B and you're trying to convert some kind of B2B lead that can actually be a value of, say, £10,000 or £100,000, then to have 1,000 people see your advert, a cost per thousand of £30 is actually quite reasonable quite often. So that's the first thing to be thinking about, is what is that cost per thousand? And based on that cost per thousand, you can start to understand, okay, if 1,000 people see the ad, and then a certain number of people click on the ad, and then a certain number of people from your site submit a lead or add to basket or then purchase, etc., or convert into a sale. That's the process you're going to be thinking through in this entire video, to be honest. And so the CPM is that first metric within that equation. So very good one to be thinking about. Oh, hey, could you just hit that like and subscribe button for me real quick? It'll make me so happy. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. So this is kind of the top of the funnel. The middle of the funnel, the stuff that you want to be looking at is, in the ads themselves especially, is the cost per click. So how much does it cost for each person to actually click on that ad and go through to your website? Or in Google Ads, you'd be more often thinking about the click-through rate. I mean, click-through rate and cost per click are both great metrics to be considering. And this is how much do they see the ad as impressions, but then how much, when they actually do see the ad, do they choose to take action and click on something? So this is kind of validation whether the actual advert itself and the messaging is hitting home. So that's the thing that you want to be thinking about at this point. And then a little bit further along from that is once they've actually clicked, they go through to your website. You could argue that this is the bottom of the funnel, depending on, what you're viewing as the entire funnel. But ultimately, the sale is the end of the funnel, really. So I'd say this is still roughly the middle of the funnel, is when they arrive at your website. Do they choose to, in e-commerce, go and view your different products? Do they potentially add it to the basket? And these kinds of steps they might take. With B2B, it might be that they just go to different pages, maybe that they watch your videos, that they just take some kind of action within your website to show that they haven't just clicked on the ad by accident or something. They have genuinely shown some real interest in your business. So this is that kind of middle of funnel point. And then the bottom of funnel is really those steps that people are taking just to try and get them over to the point of submitting a lead for business or actually making a purchase for e-commerce. So In e-commerce, you want to be looking at the conversion rates going through from add to basket. So how many people are adding to basket and what is the cost per add to basket? And then from add to basket into initiate checkout, how much of a drop off is there? And then from initiate checkout into purchase. So of course, purchase is the actual completion and the value of that purchase. So this is the bottom of the funnel, is trying to understand those metrics and trying to see, is there a significant drop off? There are some kind of averages across these different metrics, and I actually go into this in a lot more detail in another video, but ultimately it varies a lot anyway between each industry, and especially between e-commerce and B2B. It's a different entire flow. So for B2B, you're really trying to get people to submit some kind of form in some format to get in touch, or to download a white paper, or to book a call with you, all of these different versions. So that's the bottom of funnel. And so again, you can still see that within Facebook or LinkedIn. So they have their pixels that they use, so the Facebook pixel or the insight tag with LinkedIn, and this actually shows you, it gives you the data to see what users are doing in terms of actually submitting forms or almost submitting a form. You can set up your own conversions in many different formats to really follow that user and understand where that drop off is. So this is the top, middle and bottom of the funnel. So you're really trying to understand those kind of metrics at each level. And so if the CPM is especially high, that can mean that all the rest of the entire funnel do not get enough. So then you're pretty much dead from the start. So you need to figure that out first. And once that's solid, you move into, how many people are clicking on the ad and actually taking action from that ad. So if that's broken, you really need to figure out again, okay, the actual ad itself is not working. If the CPM was not working, it can quite often be to do with the audience or again, the ad. The click-through rate is much more specifically the ad and audience as well. And then as it goes through to the website, of course, the actual website itself is extremely important at this point. That's the big thing. But the audience and the ads can dictate the performance of the website too. Because of course, if you oversell or undersell in the advert, then that can lead to bad results within the website's conversions as well. Or you send a bad audience. Like if you send people that don't actually have the money to purchase, for example, then it doesn't matter how good the website is, they're not going to convert. So all of this stuff does overlap, but you need to be thinking of gradually really just working from the top, make that work, go through to the middle, get that working, and then go to the final stage. So you see the numbers jump up gradually all through the funnel so that the river is flowing strongly as you're going through this. And then finally you get the river pumping tons of great opportunities to the website, and then you just need to get that website converting strongly, and then you'll have that complete lovely flooding Amazonian river of leads or sales coming into your business and achieving those really strong returns on investment. So that's how you can think about the funnel for your business. I hope this has helped. If you need a bit more information about how to kind of visualize it, we did another video, which we'll link here, which was all about actually setting up the columns within Facebook ads. If you'd like one of those for LinkedIn ads or Google ads, then I'd love to do that too. So let me know in the comments. And if you have any other questions, please do let me know in the comments as well. And otherwise, I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you next Wednesday.